hello, welcome to Knit in the City. I am Rebecca, the city is Malmö, and today I am going to do a little mid-year evaluation of my knitting goals for 2024. And now you're wondering, mid-year? Yeah, it's not exactly mid-year, but this is when I'm doing it, and I thought it could be interesting to check back and see, because I have actually not been thinking a lot about these goals since I set them in, I don't know, December, January, whenever that might have been. So I thought it would be fun to check in and see how I was doing. And the first goal that I decided on for 2024 was to get my UFOs down to 10. At the beginning of the year, I had 29 UFOs. I know, I'm as shocked as you are. No, I'm not, because I know what I'm doing. Yeah, there were 29. And I have not yet gotten them down to 10. But I'm actually making good strides, because what I did in the beginning of the year was to review all my UFOs and how do you say it, graded them, gave them each a mark, and the highest marked ones, I mean, this was based on how much I wanted to knit on them and how much I wanted the finished item. And the highest marked ones I put into a Make 9 UFO, and the lowest marked one I put into an Unmake 9. So meaning that I was going to frog them. So I mean, all of those 9 have been frogged, and I have not finished all of the ones that I was supposed to finish knitting. But I have 17 UFOs at this point, and some of these have been added to. So after I took some off, I started new projects that have been languishing. I'm not going to go through all of these UFOs, because this is going to be something I will do in a later video. I have a whole setup for my autumn making plans. And so, well, I'm not going to go into that now, but I have a few UFOs that I'm just quickly going to show you. And any of these things, the garments, the items, the objects, whatever I'm talking about, I'm not going to go into detail about everything, because some of the things I have already talked about at length. Other things I am about to talk about, or I'm going to talk about in a later episode. So I will just quickly mention some of these things. And most of the UFOs that I have are actually socks that I started last summer, and I just started so many socks, and I didn't finish most of them, and I've just been sick of socks. So I'm not going to show you any of those. I'm still traumatized by the Boylan socks, and I'm sure some of you are as well. So I will show you some of my UFOs that are not socks. And the first one is the Simple Thing. And I mean, names of designers and patterns will be in the frame if I don't remember. So this is just a simple, I mean, it's more of a mini shawl than a scarf actually. This is a free pattern. It is knit with really luxurious yarns. This is one ball of Knitting for Olive merino in the color Cherry Blossom, I think, and one ball of Isager, what is it called? It's the merino silk base. And you can see the fluff if I hold it up to the camera. Yeah, the reason this is a UFO is that I bought one ball each, intending to start decreasing when I had half of the yarn left. But since this is quite a rapid increase, that would have meant that the shawl, scarf, whatever, would have been very short. So I decided to, when I have the means, buy 2 other balls of this yarn. Then what happened is that one of my knitting friends had a ball of the knitting for all of merino in this color. So she gave that to me, and I gave her a skein from my stash that I wasn't using. So I have the merino, and now I only need the mohair to finish this one. And it's not gonna take a super long time. I told you I wasn't gonna go into detail, I kinda am. Then another one is a shawl that I started a really long time. This is years and years ago. During the time when it was super popular to make intricate lace shawls, like 2010 or something like that. This is the Haruni. It also has beads, I don't know if you can see. And I could not find the beads that I had been using, but I decided to just keep knitting anyway, without the beads. And it doesn't bother me at all, actually. I think it looks fine either way, because the beads are really small anyway. I am knitting this from, let me think, Malabrigo lace, yes, which is a really thin and lovely merino yarn. This is all that I have left, and I'm not sure that I will be able to finish this shawl with this amount of yarn, because it has like a really pretty border that probably swallows up quite a bit of yarn. But so that's, I mean, I'm undecided of what to do with it. I don't think I can frog it because it's like really, it's very loosely spun. It's just it's not plied, it's just one strand. So I would be afraid to frog this. What I could do would be to knit the border in a different color, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna like that. I mean, I'm still thinking about this. Let me see what else I have here. Oh yeah, this one you may have heard about. This is the ballerina wrap top by 2 of Wands that I am knitting in Järbo bambu Raggi, which is actually a sock yarn, but it's a fingering weight yarn, so it works well with this kind of design. And I'm holding it with this mohair that I currently don't remember what it's called, but it will be in the description box below. And I really like the combination of yarns. This I'm going to take back up when the temperature gets lower, because now it's 25 degrees and I don't want to work with mohair in this weather. So, I mean, this is only a UFO because summer arrived and I just feel like this is too warm to be working on during summer. So yeah, I think that's enough. My second goal that I had for the year was to publish a pattern on Ravelry, and I still have time. And this is a very simple pattern, but I started making a sock. Looks like this, and I'm thinking for this to be a free pattern because, I mean, this is really simple. You don't, yeah. And I am making 3 sizes. This is the medium size that I have half another sock in this size, but I decided that it would be better to focus on the other 2 sizes, because to get the numbers correct and just see that everything works out, I don't need to make 2 socks. I started making the smallest size. I've actually made the smallest size twice. I made it in this is the Sandnes Line, which has, I think, 170 meters on a 50 gram ball. But I started knitting it in Drops Fabel, and that has a 200 meters. And apparently that made a difference because they came out really small. I think this is going to be more successful. I started the toe, so this will be finished really soon. And after that, I'm going to make the biggest size in this yarn, which is the same yarn, just a different color. So, I mean, I think this is doable. And when autumn comes, I'm probably going to feel like doing this. Yeah. So the first goal was not accomplished, the second goal not accomplished, but the year there's still a few months left in the year, so I'm not worried. The third one was a pretty loose set goal, and make more garments, because I made a lot of accessories last year, and I love making sweaters, cardigans, like more bigger things. And I think I made 3 cardigans and 2 sweaters in 2023, and I mean that didn't feel good to me. So I have actually, I feel like I've already accomplished this goal, because I have made how many garments? 15 garments already. So I'm super happy with that. The thing is that most of these garments are actually tees and tank tops, which is really surprising. But this summer I was very motivated to work on that kind of, because I do have a lot of sweaters and cardigans in my wardrobe that I have made, but I didn't have a lot of tank tops and the t-shirts, and I really wanted to make some more of those. And I'm actually really quickly going to show you the ones that I have here. And the latest one is Compass that I recently finished, and this is I made for my daughter, and it's a tin can knits pattern from their book Strange Brew. That is a really lovely. I don't know if you can see my underarm hair now, but yeah, colorwork yoke. This is for my daughter, because you can see it's pretty small. And this I actually did finish for another episode that I will probably have published by this time, and that is how long does it take to finish, because I only had half an arm left, and I timed myself to see how long it would take me to do that. So yeah, the next one is my Sarah top from Soy Nordlund that I have talked about a bit. This is made from 100% cotton yarn. It came out a little bit too small, so I got some gaping holes between the buttons, but when you hold it up like this, it looks really nice. The next one is the retro button top that I have also talked about quite recently, and it actually has the same buttons. This is knit in Sandnes Line, which is a lovely yarn. If I have to choose, I do prefer the tynn line, which is like half as thick, but this is also nice. These worsted weight yarns are, even if they're all plant fibers, they are a tiny bit warm for summer wear, but on cooler days it's fine. And what I like about this is that these buttons don't open. This is just like a faux button band. So you just knit this in the round, and then you pick up stitches for the button band and then sew the buttons on, which when I wear it, there's no gaping. Love that. The next one is the Darjeeling blouse, which is also a recent make. This is knit from Falkgarn Emma, 100% cotton yarn. And it has these lovely borders. This is a Trust the Mojo design. What I don't like about this, it has a really nice I-cord edging around the whole thing, but it does roll a lot. And the buttons I picked were unfortunately a bit too small, so I can't button it, which means I'm gonna have to wear it open, which is fine, because it's nice to wear over a dress. But the thing is that since the edges roll, when I can't button it, they're going to be rolled like this. And I don't like the look of that. And someone suggested that I sew up the buttonholes a little bit so they're not as big. And I think I'm going to do that. And then I will get a lot more wear out of this garment. The next one is, this is a real favorite. And I've been wearing this tons. And I'm definitely going to make more of this. This is the, I can, if I have, I will put pictures of these garments when I'm wearing them. But this is the blouse number 1 from My Favorite Things Knitwear. I knit this in Drops Belle. It's a really fun knit. You knit it on 5mm needles, which is that's really big needles. And the construction is great. The fit is great. I love these Belle sleeves. Super pretty. I actually added, because they were a bit short, I added some length to them after I had finished knitting it and tried it on. I have talked about this quite a bit before as well, because I had some trouble with the sizing. I'm definitely going to knit more of this, because the great thing about this, I mean, you can't wear it on a warm summer day, but in the evening when it gets cooler, it's really nice to throw this on. It's definitely not as warm as a wool garment, because I mean, even in the evenings I wouldn't want to wear a wool sweater, unless it was like a very thin merino thingy, maybe. But I also think that this would be a great garment for transitioning, like from, I mean, early autumn or late spring. You can wear this instead of a wool sweater. And that, I think that would feel really nice. Because sometimes some of these wool sweaters that I have are just really too warm to wear unless it's really cold outside. So, I mean, this is a great transitional piece. I really recommend this pattern. Very good pattern. And the finished item, I really love it. I've worn this tons, and I think I've washed it twice. And you can wash it in your washing machine, which is also such a luxury for a knitter to be able to do. The next one is a t-shirt. This is the Luna tee, and this I actually finished quite a while ago, so I haven't talked about this in a while. This one I also really love. This is knit in Drops Baby Merino, which is a superwash merino, and I don't really like that because I think it's gonna grow after wash. I haven't washed this yet because I'm afraid of the growth of this garment, because it fits really nicely now, but if it gets bigger, it's not gonna, because this is a snug thing. It's supposed to be like hugging your figure or something like that, and I like that look. But yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen when I wash it. So this is a wool garment, not intended for summer wear, but the way I wear it is under a cardigan or a jacket or something like that, or on its own when it's a little bit cooler. But it can't be too cool because then you don't want your arms out. So yeah, I would probably throw a jacket or a cardigan over this. And the next garment I have made is also really pretty. And this is the porcelain sweater. And I mean, the moment I saw this, I was like, I have to make this. This is Lene Holmesamsa pattern. And it is knit from the top down. And you start by making the back. Then I should have read the pattern properly, because then I could have picked up for the front and knit it that way. But actually, then I knit the front and I sewed the seams up on the and they look horrible. So, I mean, I'm so bad at sewing things together. But yeah, I mean, my hair is going to be over it. No one's going to notice. I know and you know. Well, that's it. I had to add, I mean, my gauge is a little bit off. So this is somewhat tighter than I would have liked it to be. Because, I mean, it kind of hugs my body. It's not super tight, but I mean, you would like this to be a little bit straighter, I think, for this kind, because this is a drop shoulder construction. And I also had to add an extra border, because when I was here, this was very cropped. And I feel like this is not, it's not that I feel like, it's not intended to be cropped, and that's also not the way I wanted it. I also had to add an extra border to the arms, because otherwise they would have been way too, look, I mean, this is a 3/4 sleeve. Yeah, I have not been wearing this a ton. mostly because, and I mean this like folded over, this is not a hem, this is a, well, I'm just gonna call it a neckline, which it also isn't. Yeah, it's a folded over, yeah, let's call it a neckline, which looks super nice when you hold it like this. And yeah, and I did a tubular bind off on this, which I finally understood how, I mean, when I figured out that this is just a Kitchener stitch, then it was super easy. Before that, I really struggled, and it always came out super ugly because I couldn't remember what the next step was. But yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with this, with the caveat that it is a bit too snug. And also, this would look really nice with jeans, and I currently don't own a pair of jeans that fit me. So I need to get a pair of jeans to make this more wearable. The next one is the Storm Sweater by Petite Knit. I mean, I really love the look of this. It is a bit wrinkly now, but I knit this in drops Lima, yeah. And this is also a drop shoulder construction. This is a bit roomier, which I like, without being as oversized as her pattern is. This is also knit, you start at the back. I mean, look how neat this is. And then you actually pick up stitches for the front, and then you knit in the round. So yeah, this is a similar drop shoulder construction. And all of these textured stitches are like very simple to make. So, and also you get a lot of, I mean, you're not doing the same thing for a long time, which is really nice and makes it a fun project to knit. So, and this also has this folded over rib. Well, that doesn't look pretty, but that's just ends sewn in, which I think this also has a tubular bind off. I was so excited about the tubular bind off when I finally figured it out. So yeah, super happy with that. What else? Where am I at? Yeah, that was the garments. And my fourth and last goal for the year, I think. No, I forgot to tell you, I also made quite a few garments for my kids. I don't have any of those here. If I have pictures, I will insert them. But I will just mention them shortly. I made the tan top and shorts from Helga Isager for both of my kids. So 2 pairs of shorts and 2 tank tops. They were both, the pattern is great. It's a lot to keep in mind. So I don't think this is a beginner friendly pattern, but I mean, if you are meticulous and you write things down, you can do it. But it's not TV knitting, even though it's mostly stockinette. Then I also made a muso sweater for my oldest daughter, but I made it like a short. I used the muso pattern, which is a free pattern, but then I just stopped just above the bust. So it's just like a pair of sleeves, mostly, because she wanted a sweater like that. I knit it in drops Fabel, held double, and she loves it, and she's been using it a lot before summer, of course, because it's too hot to wear now. Yeah, that was it. I also made a tip-top tank for myself, but I don't have it here and I don't have a picture, but I will be talking about it in the monthly roundup coming up at the end of this month. So if you're just patient, you will hear about it then. I have to say it's a great pattern. It came out really nice. I have been wearing it a few times already, and I really love the look of it. And it's a free pattern, so I mean, also quick knit. I think I made it in 4 or 5 days. Yeah. So let's see, what was my fourth goal? That was to knit from my queue, my Ravelry queue, because I had queued a lot of things that never got knit. And this is a goal I also feel like I have already accomplished, because the things I have, now I'm gonna read from my list. The things that I have knit have actually mostly come from my queue. I think I haven't counted, but where did I didn't write that here, but I will remember. The storm sweater is from the queue, the porcelain sweater. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I also made the car sweater from Rebecca Clow, which I love. It's just so nice. I don't have it here, but I will put a picture of it. It is knit in Klippans tvåtrådiga, which is just a regular 2-ply wool yarn, like these. It's actually this yarn that I have. I can show you the yarn. So the main color was this forest green. It is not called that because this is like an outlet yarn that is super cheap, but it's 100% wool and very nice. But it doesn't have color names, but I'm calling it forest green. And this more minty green for the colorwork section. This yarn is labeled a sport. It has 300 meters for 100 grams. It does feel rather thin. I think you could use it as a fingering weight if you wanted to. But that means that this sweater is kind of airy, which is super nice when it's not very cold outside, because sometimes these wool sweaters are just too warm. But yeah, I have been wearing it a ton. Where was I? Yeah, that was from the queue. The Luna tee was from the queue. Darjeeling blouse, the retro button top, and also no, forget about that. The retro button top was from the queue. That had been on the queue for years, I think. The tip top tank was also from the queue. The tan top and shorts was from the queue. Yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, the blouse number 1 too was from my queue. So I have knit a lot of things from my queue. I have a good system now, so I try not to queue things unless I'm really excited to make them. And then I also have some whips that come directly from my queue, and that I'm just going to show them shortly. That is the Kylie pullover that I have been talking at length about. I have come to a halt because I'm out of yarn, so I have to order new yarn. But I really love the way this looks at the moment. This is knit from Drops Belle. The only thing is that it may be a little bit too snug. It's not like it's tight, but I wanted this to be a bit oversized. But I think I didn't take into account the cables, but they of course pull it tighter. But yeah, we will see what happens once it's finished. The other whip that also comes from my queue is my Cumulus tee that I have been so annoyed with. So this is like I think this is my 3rd attempt. And now I'm knitting it in tynn line, which pretty much matches the thickness of the yarn used, because she is using Knitting for Olive pure silk, I think. I think maybe this yarn is also in there as an option. But yeah, it has come out smaller. I would say it's still a little big, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make decreases here. It's on a piece of yarn now because I wanted to try it on before I continued. I mean, I've made the mistake before that I just kept knitting. And I have 2 things. No, the outline tee is also from my queue. And I have been showing this. This is also the 3rd attempt at the outline tee, but now I'm actually doing pretty well. I'm not going to talk much about this, and this is just releasing these stitches. So exciting. And I'm really happy that I let go of the right ones. But yeah, that was exciting. I'm not going to talk anymore about this because this is going to come up in the next monthly roundup. But it's from my queue, and I also started knitting on the square neck camisole. So much fun. This is an ingenious construction, and this is also, you will also get to know all the details about this in my monthly roundup, so I'm also not going to talk about this anymore. This is a cotton merino blend, which is really lovely to work with, and it feels nice to the touch, and it's probably going to be wearable in summer unless it's too hot, but well, don't know yet. What do I have in this little bag? Yeah, no, that's for something else. No, it's not, actually. I'm lying to you. This is rather a UFO than a whip. This is the 9 p.m. tank, which is a mess. And I've talked about it quite recently. But this was also in my queue before I started knitting on it. Yes. And also the Lauder V-neck cardigan. I don't know, I thought I had brought it here, but now that I was about to start filming, I couldn't find it. So, but I mean, I have showed it to you, and you will also see it in the next episode, so no worries. I think I have gone through all of my goals for 2024, and I have accomplished 2 of them, and I have 2 left, and I am feeling really positive about being able to meet those goals. If I don't, it's no big deal. But I would like to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Bye bye.